YouTube and Snapchat fuckers. Welcome back to another installment of the Friday Wrap-Up. Well, made it through another week. Who would have thought it, right? Well, here we go. Before we jump into today's show, I'm going to tip my hat to today's libation. I am drinking a spiked hot chocolate. Not just any spiked hot chocolate. No. That would be too easy. We spiked it with a little screwball peanut butter whiskey. I like to call it a screwy hot chocolate. Very simple. Pick your favorite method of hot chocolate. Well, actually, there's a difference between hot chocolate and hot cocoa. In case you didn't notice, hot chocolate is actually made with shaved chocolate. Hot cocoa is made with cocoa powder. So I guess you could call it a spiked hot cocoa. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. I personally don't like that instant shit. I like to make it from scratch. No, not complicated at all. I use 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar if you want the low-carb variant like I'm drinking. Just a packet and a half of equal will work, or Splenda, whatever the hell you want to use. A dash of salt, only a little pinch of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, and about a cup of milk. Heat the milk at about, I'd say about a minute and a half. You stir the hot milk into your cocoa mixture. You add about a shot of peanut butter whiskey. And there you go. Azalud. A nice hot winter beverage with a little extra kick. Ooh, that's good. Delightful. Child, make my nipples hard. Good girl. All right, well. Big week we had, huh? It fucking snowed again. Big surprise. All right? I mean, these fucking weather people panic the shit out of everybody for no goddamn reason. All week long we've been hearing about this storm, right? Oh, the storm's coming, big storm, this storm. You know what? It really wasn't that fucking bad. I mean, yeah, right, the roads were a little fucked up. Fine, I get it, okay? You shouldn't be out if you don't have a fucking four-wheel drive vehicle anyway. But, they made it seem like it was going to be the end of the fucking world, like the last goddamn snowstorm we had, and when in fact, we barely got 6 inches. I mean, these fucking weather people are like the Dr. Fauci's of the fucking media. They're chronically fucking wrong, and yet people still listen to them. I don't understand. Anyway, I'm going to introduce a new segment to today's show. So I shortened up the Corona update to bring you a new segment called Nostril Gate. The Governor Cuomo saga continues. Remember last week I mentioned that one of his aides blew the whistle open on actually how many deaths he's responsible for in the nursing homes? Well, this week, this guy just handed me a fucking plate full of gold. Governor Nostrils has been on fire this week. Just absolute fire. So, I think it was Monday. Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. He goes on TV, does one of his special broadcasts to basically shed some light on this whole scenario that I laid out on last week's show. So his attempt to explain why he covered up the fact that he killed 15,000 senior citizens. Not once during this broadcast did this fuckface even begin to apologize or show any remorse or contrition or anything for what he was responsible for. Instead, he blamed he blamed the whole fucking world for these 15,000 senior deaths, okay? He kind of sidestepped the whole fact that he fucking covered it up. So he blamed the staff for bringing COVID in. He blamed the fucking visitors for bringing COVID in, all before the pandemic. He blamed Trump. I don't know how the fuck Trump came down and infected 15,000 fucking senior citizens with the coronavirus and killed them, but apparently he blamed Trump too. He blamed politics and said this was a political attack. Hello? Political attack my fucking ass. You got 15,000 dead old farts. I mean, how the fuck is this political? But wait, he even went as far as to blame the old people for being fucking old. Okay? It blows my fucking mind. What an egomaniac this guy. I mean, listen, people tell me I got a fucking ego. Nostrils has shit on me in that department. Let me tell you. So, he attributes the decision that he made to send people to nursing homes as opposed to utilizing the fucking hospitals that Trump built for him. He attributes it to information based on the advice of Dr. Fauci, the CDC, and the World Health Organization, all who have been unbelievably fucking wrong about every goddamn fucking thing since the beginning of this thing up until now. All right? He even he even attributed advice from the state's top healthcare official, Dr. Howard Zucker, who, I mean, Nostrils went as far as to say that he wouldn't entrust the healthcare of his own mother to Dr. Zucker. Well, apparently he don't like fucking Matilda that much because this guy is another fucking malignant retard, all right? He's been wrong about every fucking thing, too. And he looks like he's sickly himself. So, basically, instead of apologizing or even acknowledging the fact that they made a fucking mistake or a sidestep or whatever, this is a guy that liked to go on television for 111 days and say that he's giving the New Yorkers the facts and he's providing them with information and all this other shit. Basically, instead of going on TV and saying, oops, I made a boo-boo, or oops, I made a mistake, or yeah, I fucking lied tonight, for whatever reason, he just blamed the rest of the fucking world, passed the buck, and pretended like he didn't do a fucking thing. That he's not responsible for any of this. Imagine. So, now, he's facing major backlash from both sides of the aisle. Republicans and Democrats. I mean, I got news for you. If fucking Trump was still president, I guarantee you he'd go after this guy. He'd go after Cuomo with a fucking vengeance. Because Cuomo was so critical of the president. And everything he blamed the president for, he fucking did himself. And he fucked up the goddamn vaccine rollout, the testing, everything. Every problem that New York has is fucking Cuomo's fault. Okay? They were saying they needed federal guidance. Okay. But yet, at the same breath, he's saying that the Fed shouldn't interfere with business of the state. Okay. Make up your mind, right? This new fucking administration hasn't changed anything. They're still letting the governors run everything, and the governors can't fucking let me rephrase that. The governors in the blue states couldn't punch their way out of a fucking wet paper bag with 2 razor blades tied to their hands, and this son of a bitch is leading the fucking charge, okay? So, now he's facing backlash from both sides of the aisle. One of the more critical admonishments came from State Assemblyman Ron Kim, okay? Who basically represents the Queens District, but he's part of the State Assembly. And he was on that call with Melissa DeRosa, Cuomo's top aide, who basically confessed to the cover-up, and and he because of that, he lashed out at Nostrils in an interview with the New York Post. So, of course, this this type of fucking, negative review from a member of his own party sent Cuomo through the fucking roof. So he got his guinea up. All right? All of a sudden, he became Italian again. And get this shit, because when I heard this, I almost fucking pissed myself laughing. See, he calls this little Asian guy up, a little Korean man, on on his cell phone at home on a Friday night, right? The guy's bathing his kids, whatever. So Cuomo calls him up and fucking threatened him. Literally fucking threatened him to retract his statements. He said, and I'm quoting here, okay? "You have not yet seen my wrath." And I can see this fucking windbag saying that. "I will tell the world what a bad person you are, and you'll be finished. I will destroy you." Imagine this shit. He calls the guy up and fucking threatens him. And apparently, this is not news to anybody else in the Democratic Party, because he's done this to other Democrats before. Okay? Muppet Hands fucking, he was all over the news yesterday saying, oh yeah, that's right, this isn't new. Cuomo's a bully. That I could completely see that. I could totally see that. This guy is a fucking egotistical retard. Okay? So he calls up Ron Kim and threatens him over the phone. Matter of fact, Kim's wife, who was present when the call came in, was apparently shaken up by this shit because she said she could hear Nostrils yelling over the phone because he didn't say it calm. Okay? He was probably a raving fucking lunatic. He was probably breathing fire out of his fucking shotgun, double-barrel shotgun nose that he has. So Nostrils then proceeded to harass this assemblyman all weekend long by calling him multiple times. Kim didn't pick up and said he went and lawyered up. Imagine? And now Cuomo's camp or Cuomo's office is denying this. They're calling this guy, flat out calling the guy a liar. He was on Fox, he was on CNN, he was on every goddamn news station yesterday basically saying what Cuomo did. And personally, I don't think the guy's lying. Because he looks visibly shaken up. Matter of fact, when Cuomo gave his debacle of a fucking press conference Monday or Tuesday, whatever the hell day it was, I think it was Monday. This was the first time I noticed this about Andrew Cuomo. He looked nervous. He wasn't his normal cocky self. And I noticed he's got some tells. When he gets a little nervous or backed into a corner, he starts doing certain things with his hands. I always watch people's hand mannerisms, especially Italians, because it'll tell you a lot. And I know what his normal hand gestures are. He does this a lot. But when he starts playing with his fingers, and he starts doing jazz hands and sparkle fingers, I know the guy's nervous. So he was doing that. You could tell by his attitude, his posturing, the way he was answering questions, that the guy was visibly fucking nervous. So he wasn't his normal cocky self, and he's been quiet ever since. Okay, so ever since his first press conference where he blamed the old people for being old, he hasn't really said much. Everything that most of his statements have been released either through his office or by aides, but never direct. Okay, so I guess this fucking gas bag ran out of gas. Because he hasn't been all over the fucking TV, the news. Matter of fact, CNN banned his brother, little Fredo, from covering him or having any kind of interaction, media-wise with him. So members of both parties are calling for his fucking resignation. They're looking to remove his emergency powers, which can only benefit everyone in the state, because his emergency powers are what shut down all the restaurants and the bars and basically every fucking thing. His emergency powers are what sent people to the fucking to the nursing homes in the first place. And his emergency powers are going to further impact the state budgets because he's making promises and guarantees that he can't back up. He's waiting for some major fucking federal bailout, which and the repeal of the SALT tax, which is not going to happen. And he's promising employers that he's going to cover all of their unemployment. Stupid shit like that. It's not going to happen. So by removing his emergency powers, it'll basically help out people in the state. Okay, I feel. I could be wrong about that, but maybe not. They've also, lawmakers on both sides of the aisles have also appealed to the Emmys to vacate his fucking bullshit Emmy Award. Remember, he got an Emmy Award for being a fucking blowhard for 111 days, right? The shit that they do for these fucking left-wingers is just disgusting. It really is. Meanwhile, in all fairness, and you'll see it now, the Biden administration's a complete fucking disaster so far when it comes to Corona. Everything they blame Trump for, they did. They wouldn't give the president the right kind of credit. If anything, listen, whether you like Trump or don't like Trump, it don't fucking matter. He did more in the way of the coronavirus and trying to curtail it than anybody else has done so far. Okay, there wouldn't be a vaccine right now if it wasn't for Trump. Trump provided these states, including New York, with every goddamn resource they fucking needed: hospitalization, ventilators, equipment, whatever you needed. Bam, feds were there for them. So, this new administration, where's the $2,000 stimulus checks that they said they were going to have out, as soon as the fucking inauguration happened, huh? Where's that? I'm still waiting. You guys still waiting? It ain't gonna fucking happen anytime soon. They quietly brushed that under the fucking rug. You ain't gonna see that shit. And to make my day even brighter, the FBI and the State Department of Justice have now launched a fucking official investigation, a criminal investigation. Now, into Cuomo's actions here. So, I mean, that could turn into something. I mean, now, although the FBI is pretty fucking useless, they do like to go after Italians. So, you know, this might nail his sanctimonious ass to the fucking wall. You know, we'll see. Well, I can only hope. I can only hope if fucking Cuomo had a half a brain in his head and wasn't thinking with his fucking ego, he'd resign right now. Resign, walk away, say, okay, I'm out. That's it. You know, but he's too much of a fucking egotistical jerk off. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Ooh, but I hope they fucking lock his ass up. I hope they lock his ass up. All right, your corona update. Well, nothing's changed. You know, the fucking wolf flu is still here. Now they're talking about there's a South African variant that's in the state. But how the fuck, okay, how the fuck does the coronavirus, the South African variant, get here? How? This jerk-off administration, okay, this Biden administration last week was talking about banning travel to Florida, but yet they won't ban any kind of fucking international travel. It makes no fucking sense to me. Okay, just ban all fucking international flights until this pandemic has been abated. I don't see what the fucking issue is. Well, somebody's gonna get offended? Big fucking deal. Who cares? You know how many lives you save? If they'd have let Trump do what he wanted to do, again, I gotta keep mentioning him. Well, since the left likes to keep mentioning him, they blame him for everything. I'm gonna keep mentioning him. Okay, but if they'd have let Trump do what he wanted to do and stall all international travel, I'm telling you, the fucking numbers would not be anywhere near what they are now. If they had their way and didn't allow him to ban travel to China, we'd all be dead. Okay. So, but no, we could shut down travel to Florida because they're doing good. But, you know, aside from that, don't ban fucking travel anyplace else. That makes sense. So, you know, wash your hands, wear 22 masks, stay away from everyone, you know, wipe your ass 6 times, and there you go. Okay? The Biden administration continues to fuck up the vaccine distribution. They can't seem to figure out how to get the vaccine produced. I mean, I don't see what the problem was. I mean, Trump figured it out. All they had to do was leave it alone. The fucking Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, they were all pumping out fucking vaccines. Everything was fine. And now all of a sudden, Biden comes and touches things and then forget about it. It just dries up. They can't get the goddamn vaccines distributed. They don't know where it's going. They don't know what the fuck to do with it. Okay? I guess so much for that, you know, 100 million people vaccinated in 100 days. Okay? Yeah, so much for that shit. Okay, if they'd have left the Trump plan in place, it was already there. Okay, it was already there. It was 900,000 or whatever the fuck it was. Okay, please. Anyway, so basically, your corona update is this. We're all fucked. Moving on. Okay, kids, get your tickets out. Got a little hot cocoa for the train. All aboard. The crazy train's about to leave the station. Woo-hoo! Okay, here we go. All right, first stop, Washington, D.C. Now, I promised you last week I was going to wait till this week to talk about the impeachment. And I'm not going to go too fucking long-winded on this because, I mean, you guys have eyes. We all knew that this thing was dead on arrival. Okay? We all knew that. And it was just another political fucking jab by the left at Trump. I mean, they fucking hate this guy that much that they're embarrassing themselves. Okay? They are seriously fucking embarrassing themselves. Now, listen. What happened on January 6th, whatever the fuck. Alright, it shouldn't have happened. But you know what? Aside from the fact that I still will maintain to this day, the left had a lot to do with that. It was staged. Okay? But that insurrection was pre-planned. Okay, it was pre-planned weeks in advance. Had nothing to do with what Donald Trump said that day. Okay? It had nothing to do with the fact that Trump was saying that the election was rigged. We were all fucking saying it. People in the news were saying it. Members of Congress, the Senate. It was obvious. Okay? Now, the state Supreme Courts, the federal Supreme Court refused to listen to the evidence because, and I don't agree with this, but I can see what they would, where the head was at. Look, if they listened to the evidence and it was strong enough that it probably would have stood on its own, that somebody was able to successfully rig an election, it would have been fucking civil unrest. I mean, it would have been an uprising. It would have created fucking chaos. So, there was no way that they were going to let that evidence ever get see the light of day. But, when you got congressmen and senators contesting it at a fucking electoral, at an electoral certification, something's going to come out. So they needed some kind of distraction, and I'd bet my last fucking dollar that the left staged this. Okay? But even if they didn't, you know who's really responsible for this insurrection? It isn't Trump. Okay? It's the Senate. It's the Congress. It's the House of Representatives. They're responsible for this. Okay? Because you got 75 million fucking people who voted for a president that was the best president this country ever had. I'll fucking say it. I don't care. Okay? And then, you got an election in front of you that's being questioned. Okay, forget the fact that, it's obviously rigged, but it's being questioned. The results are questionable, and nobody's listening. Nobody's looking to go. Nobody's even trying to, calm people down or say, all right, you know what? We see your point. Let's take a look. Instead, they want to vilify people on the right. I mean, listen, people who are conservatives or Trump supporters for fucking years, 4 years, okay, they get tired of being called terrorists, communist, racist, white supremacists, all kinds of bullshit. All right, you do that to somebody on the left, you're considered a fucking enemy of the state. But it's okay for them to do it to us. They still do it. Rush Limbaugh died yesterday. Okay, or was it Wednesday? Right, Wednesday. Whether you like him or not, I mean, fucking leftists are going, oh, good, it's about time, let's celebrate that he's dead. Like, they're all fucking happy that this man's dead. Now, if fucking Chuck Schumer exploded yet tomorrow, right, and I send out a tweet, oh, thank God, or good, yeah, let's have a party, Schumer's dead, well, one, I get booted off of Twitter, and next thing you know, I'm considered a fucking enemy of the state. So how the fuck does this make sense to you, right? So, bottom line here. You want to blame somebody for this insurrection, blame the Congress. Both parties, Republicans and Senate and Democrats, because the Democrats are the ones who fucking did it, okay? They're lying, no good pieces of shit, okay? And then you got members in the Republican Party, some got some balls, okay? Like Hawley, Graham, Cruz, they got some fucking balls, all right? Some, not a lot. And then you got fucking rhinos, which are Republicans in name only, like that piece of shit fucking Romney, okay, who should just change his fucking party affiliation at this point. Liz Cheney, that other fucking rubber hole. And then you got this fucking wrinkled old vagina face fucking McConnell, okay? McConnell's a career fucking politician. He's a piece of garbage, all right? He was never any fucking good. I never liked him, all right? Another one. Okay, they were all up Trump's ass when it worked out well for them, and then the minute they got the opportunity, they all fucking dug that knife in. Okay, McConnell thought he never liked Trump. I mean, it is what it is. McConnell's a career Republican, and until Donald Trump showed up, he was the top fucking Republican. Period. Amen. And he misses that. He had full control of the Republican Party. They thought they were going to be able to manipulate Trump. They figured, he's not a politician. Yeah, he'll take orders, blah, blah, blah. He'll get in line. That didn't happen. Trump kicked his dick in too. Trump's the boss. He basically said it in no uncertain terms. My party now. McConnell's had a fucking chip on his shoulder ever since. So this was McConnell's way of fucking digging that blade in. So yeah, he voted that the fucking impeachment was constitutional, but yet voted to acquit because, again, they need Trump, and they need Trump support. They need Trump supporters if they ever want to win back the fucking House and win back the goddamn White House in 2024, whether Trump runs or not. Okay, so he was never responsible for this. To say that is fucking ridiculous. As a matter of fact, in his speech, he did say, "Yeah, you want to go up to the Capitol and voice your concerns to our elected officials peacefully." then go ahead. You're right. This is in America. Well, I mean, fucking BLM and Antifa burning cities down left and right. That's okay. Okay, I'll digress. So the impeachment was just a complete fucking utter disaster. These impeachment managers. Well, first of all, there was blatant evidence tampering on the Democrat side. They, the speech that they said Trump used as an incitement that morning, which I just said, he did specify peaceful protest. At no point did he say storm the Capitol, throw Pelosi out of a window, kill Mike Pence, and all that bullshit. Never happened. Okay? They purposely doctored the video to make it look like it was incendiary. Now, we all saw it on the news and shit like that, like what it originally was. They purposely doctored it up. Then you have these impeachment managers. My God, they should all get Academy Awards. The fucking drama. We were in fear for our lives. They were storming the place, and I was crying. And then my favorite was AOC. Have you this crazy bitch? Look, you look at this broad. She's like a whole bag full of cats. Crazy. Look at how fucking crazy I say. God damn, that bitch is crazy. She be out here talking about kind of crazy shit. Like, that's the type of broad. She's from the Bronx, Boricua from the Bronx. She's the type of fucking broad. You ask any of the brothers in the neighborhood about her, yo, man, that bitch crazy. She out here yelling, screaming, all kind of shit. She cut Leon's dick off just because he walking. You don't even know why she did it. That bitch crazy. You got crazy eyes, man. Yeah, so she gave this whole fucking dramatic, long-winded thing as how Ted Cruz tried to murder her because he supported Trump. And she goes into this whole story. She was under her desk. She had she only had high heels on. Someone had to give her sneakers so she could run. And she had to hide in her office under her desk. And she heard she heard doors banging. And she heard someone say, "Where's AOC?" And she thought she was going to be murdered. And it was a fucking DC cop looking for her. As a matter of fact, she wasn't even in the fucking state capitol. This is how full of shit this broad is, okay? She was not even in the state fucking capitol at the time. She was in her office, which is a building about 3 blocks away. So she heard they were storming the Capitol, and she ran and hid in her office, never even left the fucking building, never even went over to the Capitol, was nowhere near the Capitol, and she's talking about how she was almost murdered. And then, of course, at the end, she's also the survivor of a sexual assault. I mean, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So, Trump's defense was pretty quick. His defense team, their opening statement was a little, made my brain hurt, but, they, the defense is pretty simple. They called out the Senate. They called out the left for doctoring evidence, which that alone should have dismissed it. They stated their defense case, and the fucking impeachment was tossed out. They didn't have enough votes to convict. Now they're talking about passing bills so that Trump could lose his pension and funding for his post-president staff, which that only happens if you get impeached or resign. They're also looking to pass a bill that he can't be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. It's like they're so fucking in the middle of a pandemic. The world is imploding. This is what the Democrats are worried about. Okay, ridiculous. So there you go. Trump, 2-time impeachment winner. How'd it go, buddy? All right, on next stop, New York City, Mayor Muppet Hands. Now, I haven't mentioned Muppet Hands in a while, but don't think I forgot about him. So, Muppet Hands decided that in the spirit of the removal of the New York City dining ban by his fellow fucktard in Albany, he was going to celebrate with some members of his staff by taking them out to lunch in fucking Chinatown. Yeah. Now, follow me here. You have a virus that was created in China on purpose. It was a man-made virus. It was released over here. Basically, China broke the whole fucking world. And you think it's a good idea? I mean, the city's been closed for about a year. Restaurants have been struggling, whatever, okay? And as soon as they open up, you want to celebrate by taking your staff out, that's great. And your first thought is, let's go to a Chinese restaurant. Not just any Chinese restaurant, but one in fucking Chinatown. They serve you fucking rats and squirrels in Chinatown. I know it happened to my father, okay? They served him a fucking squirrel. He almost killed everybody in the fucking restaurant. True story. Never went back to Chinatown again. Okay? But this is where you take people? I mean, you're not even worried that you're going to get corona in the food? I know people go, how's that possible? Simple. Where do you think their ingredients come from? Not their fresh produce and shit, but other stuff. Okay? All the fucking MSG comes from China. What, it doesn't have corona in it? How do you know? The fucking fortune cookies, all that shit. Okay? They gotta have a fucking Chinese cousin. Probably just came over here, is now working in the kitchen, spitting on all your fucking food. You know, leaking into your fucking noodles. I hope they all get corona and fucking croak. I swear to God, that's what I hope. But, yeah, this is the fucking brilliant mayor we have. Okay? Let's go to Chinatown. You can't go to Little Italy. You got a vowel at the end of your name. Fucking Mama Luke. I swear to God. Anyway, next stop, San Padre Island in Texas. In the wake of that powerful and deadly winter storm that hit the state of Texas, the sudden cold snap in this otherwise balmy beach town. Now, people are surprised to hear that Texas has beaches to begin with. Okay, which... It does. The southern part of Texas is right on the Gulf of Mexico, so it's hot. That's where it's below the equator. It's fucking hot. It's nice. It's humid. Not like this shit. But they're not used to fucking winter weather. So this mega storm that hit Texas, they really caught it by surprise because the temperatures just dropped suddenly, and especially people in the southern part of Texas are not used to this and they weren't prepared for it. North Texas, yeah, you get winter up there, but South Texas, it's like Florida. Doesn't happen. So this sudden cold snap down in South Padre Island has caused 3,500 turtles to slip into a fucking coma. But really, who fucking cares about the fucking turtles already? Enough with these motherfucking turtles. Every time I turn the news on, something happens to a turtle, and somehow it comes back to bite me in the ass. So wait, so 3,500 turtles slipped into a coma because they weren't used to the fucking cold. Okay, now a local rescue group, along with their volunteers, has been attempting to bring these turtles out of their coma by bringing them indoors and rubbing and blowing on their bellies to gradually bring their body heat up. Could you imagine? So what did you do last week? Boy, I blew a turtle. What the fuck? Who thinks it? Let's pick up the turtle. You warm yet? Like, who the fuck? Can you imagine a bunch of grown-ass fucking idiots standing inside of a warehouse, rubbing and blowing turtles? I mean, there's got to be a law that they're breaking. Like, this has to be like turtle abuse. Fuck out of here. So, I mean, just send them all to fucking Louisiana. They'll make soup out of these fucking things. Why are we wasting time blowing 3,500 turtles? I don't understand. They can make some soup in Louisiana and then maybe and then take some Gorilla Glue and glue the fucking shells to people's heads. This is just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, moving on, your sports update. NHL, NBA, nothing really noteworthy to report. I mean, the Islanders moved up to second place. Rangers are in second to last place. Here's my fucking surprised face. In the NBA, the Nets moved up to second place. They actually, they named Kevin Durant as one of the team captains in the for the All-Star team. One of the All-Star teams, I believe, probably East Coast Division. West Coast Division captain is, of course, fucking LeBron James. Knicks are in sixth place. Bulls are in ninth. Like I said, really nothing noteworthy to report here. Okay, so on your next favorite bit, what the fuck is that? 1,000-pound sisters. So, I just have to. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this shit. So you know how TLC has all these TV shows about fat people? Like you got My 600-Pound Life, Fat and Fabulous, My Fat Fabulous Life, whatever, with that Whitney Thor chick. Well, they had to add a new one. You know, they had to make it a chubby trifecta. They have this one called 1,000-Pound Sisters. Just look at these two, okay? I don't know if they're just, they look retarded. Like, this is clearly the product of inbreeding. Like, I don't know if it's just that they're so fat that it makes their faces retarded, or, but if you watch the show and you hear them talk, they're not all there. So, I guess each one of these broads weighs about 500 pounds. One of them's walking with a walker. And, you know, and the premise of the show, I guess, is that they want to go get the fucking gastric bypass surgery because they just can't stop eating. But in order to get the surgery, here's the bitch of it. In order to get the surgery, you got to drop like 300 pounds. And they're eating everything in sight. Yeah, you know, I know. Every fucking liberal just fell over and died. Oh my God, it's fat shaming. Listen, I'm not fat shaming. TLC is fat shaming because they're putting this shit on television. And, I mean, they know it's going to get mocked and made fun. I mean, look at these two. How the fuck do you put these two broads on TV and expect anyone to feel bad for their fucking big, fat, ugly asses? Okay? One of them is so fat, her forehead is protruding. Okay? And then they talk and they sound like they just, I mean, these two are Walmart specials. No question about it. Okay? So how do you put this on television and expect people to not comment? All of them. All of these fat shows. The only one who's like a little, you know, like the fat and fabulous one, the Whitney Thor, like her boyfriend, her fiance cheated on her, whatever. Gives a fuck. Anyhow, she's at least got a pretty face. No, I'm not saying she's my type, but she's got a pretty face. I mean, there's an ass for every seat. I say it all the time. You know, just because someone's a little, you know, long in the waistband doesn't mean someone ain't gonna love them. That's fine. I don't, you know, do whatever you gotta do. But like these two should just be taken out back and shot. Like I don't know if they should. I mean, these two should not be allowed to procreate. So one of them is married. Like, look, like that's. I mean, and then the other one, he's banging some black guy. Who the fuck? First of all, like I said, I mean, you know, if you like a girl that's a little on the thick side, that's okay. But like, this is obscene. How the fuck do you bang one of these out? Like, I don't. First of all, I don't. These two guys have something wrong with them too. Okay. The black guy apparently is married to a woman who's dying. And he's been dating this fucking disaster. For what reason, I don't know. Probably because she's on a television show and, you know, she thinks he's going to buy him sneakers or something. Who the fuck knows, you know? But, I mean, first of all, how does anybody... You can't be... I mean, you'd have to have tremendous upper body strength. You got to lift that flap. Like, I mean, their guts is so fucking big that it hits their knees. Okay? So you gotta like, first of all, you better wear 2 K95 masks because, you know, their arms are kind of short. I don't think they can get into all the nooks and crannies. I mean, you lift that fucking stomach flap up, Maronna mi che puzza, you know, you gotta like, forget it, you know. So you got, I mean, it's like lifting the hood up of a 53 fucking international diesel truck. Like you just, you know. I mean, if your arm gets a little shaky and that thing comes down, that's it. It's lights out, kid. Like, it's just no. So, wait. So, aside from the fucking disgustingness here, so in one of the episodes, the black guy, the girl that's dating the black guy, she turns around and tells him that she's a pansexual. I fucking died when she said pansexual. I'm pansexual. And like this guy just went blank. Because I don't think he made it past the 3rd grade. And he's like, what was that? She proceeds to tell him. Apparently her therapist pointed this out. A pansexual is someone who loves everyone. They don't have any particular sexual preference. Like, they could be in love with a guy, a girl, a plant, in her case, a pork chop, and an extra large jar of Skippy peanut butter. Like, I mean, there's another word for that. It's called fucking crazy. I mean, you just pick one. Or, you want to be bisexual? That just means you're confused. Okay, you can't make up your mind. But I mean, nowadays we have all these kinds of weird. But that's what pansexual is. You can be in love with anything. It doesn't even have to be a person. It could be an inanimate object. It could be a fucking animal or a plant. And when I say in love, I mean in the biblical sense, not like, oh, that's a very nice cactus. Like, no. It's like, oh, it's a great cactus. It hurts a little, but it's fantastic. Like, I mean, that's what we're talking about here. So, on top of the horror of these two women, you throw in the trauma of them actually having boyfriends. Matter of fact, the one that's married is apparently pregnant. I don't know how, but she is. She's pregnant. Then you throw pansexuality into it. You just sprinkle it with a little pansexuality, and there you go. So that's, if you get a chance, you need to be horrified. Go check out, go check out What the Fuck Is That? Go check out 1,000 Pound Life. You'll be delighted you did. And just to wrap the show up, I leave you with this. Now that the CDC has recommended that people wear 2 masks as opposed to 1, I'm starting to see some more horrific things as I wander about. Like, the same people who drive around with a mask on in the car, now they're driving around with 2 fucking masks on in the car by themselves. Okay? Or they're walking the streets by themselves with 2 masks on. I mean, but these are the fucking people that need to get the coronavirus. Okay, we got enough fucking morons running around. Please, just somebody needs to grab a Chinaman and just squeeze them. Just squeeze them in the direction of these idiots and just rub the Chinese people, rub the Chinamen all over their face or something, just to fucking get the corona off of them and onto them and get rid of these fucking morons. I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, that's your Friday wrap up. It's been a delight as usual, and I'll see you when I see you.